In a world that never stops spinning, where noise is constant and chaos wears a suit and tie, silence is rebellion. We glorify hustle, worship motion. We chase alerts, dopamine, deadlines as if speed itself is salvation. But what if it's not? What if all this motion is hiding the one thing we truly need? Stillness, not emptiness, not passivity. Stillness is not doing nothing. It is doing only what matters, deliberately, consciously, without noise, without rush. Lao Tzu once said, "To the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders." That's not poetry. That's power. In stillness, you don't lose time. You take it back. In stillness, you don't avoid the world. You begin to see it clearly. You see, the mind is like a muddy river. The more you stir it, the cloudier it becomes. But if you let it settle, clarity returns. This isn't philosophy for monks on mountaintops. This is survival strategy for modern warriors. Because today, the real strength isn't in how much you can do, but in how little you need to do, with how much presence you can bring to it. Stillness sharpens the mind. Stillness carves away distraction. Stillness whispers truths that motion buries. You think power is in the grind, in doing more? True power is found in knowing exactly what not to do, and that wisdom comes only in the quiet. Belief, clarity, and vision. Stillness is the gate, but clarity is what lies on the other side. Most people aren't lost. They're just moving so fast they can't hear the directions. They chase money, approval, success, but don't even know why. They want what the world says they should want, but never stop long enough to question it. And you're different. You're here because you feel it. That pull towards something deeper. You're not afraid of quiet anymore. You're learning to stop and see. Because clarity isn't found in the noise, it's found in the pause. Thomas Edison would sit for hours in silence, not to escape, but to hear the hum beneath the world. Einstein didn't force genius. He gave space for it to arrive. Even the greatest revolutions begin with a still mind and a single question. What do I truly want? Not what they told you to want, not what gets likes or applause, what sets your chest on fire when no one's watching. Stillness is the mirror that shows you the face behind the masks. It removes the fog. It makes your why undeniable. And with that why comes vision. A man with a vision carved from stillness doesn't need motivation. He becomes the storm. Discipline, purpose, and presence. But clarity without discipline, it's a daydream. The modern mind is addicted to novelty. We swipe, scroll, refresh, starving for something new while drowning in the unfinished. Stillness teaches us discipline, not the kind fueled by force or punishment, but by devotion. You don't need 100 routines. You need one purpose, and the discipline to return to it every day, whether the world applauds or not. Lao Tzu taught, "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished." That's not a metaphor. That's a blueprint. Discipline rooted in stillness doesn't rush. It flows. It's not loud. It's not flashy. It's quiet repetition. Invisible victories. It's showing up at dawn to work on your craft before the world demands your attention. Walt Disney went bankrupt twice, but his still vision never shook. He held it calmly through storms and built a world from a mouse. Stillness builds patience. Discipline builds legacy. Together, you become unstoppable. Resilience, adaptability, and action. Now listen, stillness doesn't mean hiding. It means acting only when it's time. And when you act from that place of quiet certainty, you move like thunder. Inaction isn't stillness. It's fear dressed up as wisdom. Stillness means you choose your moment with precision, like a lion, not a sheep. In chaos, you remain grounded. In crisis, you remain centered. While others panic, you adapt with calm. While others break, you bend and return stronger. Abraham Lincoln spent hours walking alone before major decisions, seeking not opinions, but peace. Because resilience is not just enduring pressure, it's not letting pressure define you. Stillness is where the flame of resilience is born. It's where you realize your spirit is unshakable, and that no storm can drown the ocean beneath your still surface. Gratitude, simplicity, and inner peace. We've been taught that happiness is out there, on the other side of achievement, validation, or applause. But stillness reveals a truth too powerful for most to handle. You already have everything you need. Gratitude is not just a practice. It's a weapon, a rebellion against the myth of not enough. In the quiet, you begin to notice what the noise tried to bury, the breath you never acknowledged, the sunrise you didn't earn, the body that still carries you, despite your neglect, the silence between words where peace has always lived. Lao Tzu whispered, "He who knows he has enough is rich." We chase luxury, but forget that simplicity is the highest form of sophistication. Modern life seduces us with endless more things, more likes, more goals, but every more is a chain until you realize that the real freedom is in less. A cup of tea in silence, a conversation with your own heart, a single hour with no notifications. These are riches most millionaires never taste, because wealth is not in your wallet, it's in your awareness. Stillness doesn't just teach you how to live, it teaches you how to love being alive. And when you finally see life for what it is, a gift, a miracle, a fleeting golden spark, you stop chasing and you start creating, learning, humility, and growth. But don't mistake stillness for arrogance. Stillness is the posture of a student, not a master, because in the silence, you realize how much you don't know. And that realization, that's the doorway to wisdom. The loud mind defends, the quiet mind absorbs. And only the humble can grow. Henry Ford went bankrupt 5 times before revolutionizing transportation, but he learned quietly, obsessively, until the world couldn't ignore him. Most people want attention, few want understanding. Stillness demands the latter. In this fast-paced era of opinions and instant reactions, learning is rare, listening is rare, reflection is rare, but the still mind listens before it speaks, learns before it judges, observes before it reacts. And because of that, it evolves. Stillness creates a feedback loop of greatness. You listen, you learn, you grow. Then you return to stillness and repeat, stronger, clearer, wiser. While others fight to be right, you become better. While others chase quick wins, you build lasting foundations, because real growth doesn't shout. It whispers in the quiet moments between who you are and who you're becoming. Energy, focus, and the elimination of distraction. There's a reason monks outlive kings, a reason quiet creators outlast loud influencers, a reason why the most successful people you'll ever meet are almost always the calmest in the room. They've mastered one thing most never will. Where you place your energy determines your life. Stillness is not just spiritual, it's strategic. In a world of 10,000 tabs open, stillness closes the ones that drain you. Stillness says, not this, not them. Not now. It strips away distraction with surgical precision. It turns your scattered force into a laser beam. Napoleon won battles not with numbers, but with focus. Bruce Lee said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." That is the discipline of stillness. In a distracted age, focus is a superpower. And every time you return to silence, you reclaim your power. You become the master of your minutes, the architect of your attention, the guardian of your energy. Stillness doesn't make you passive, it makes you precise. And in precision, there is power. But here's the part no one tells you. Stillness is terrifying, because when the noise fades, you face yourself, your doubts, your wounds, your truth. Most people run from that. They fill every silence with sound because sound is safe. But you came here for truth. And truth takes courage. Lao Tzu wrote, "A man with outward courage dares to die. A man with inner courage dares to live." Stillness is the battlefield of inner courage. It takes faith to stop chasing, faith to sit in the unknown, faith to trust that not everything must be forced. Because sometimes life is like water. The more you push, the more it slips through your fingers. But when you allow, when you surrender, the flow returns. Steve Jobs once said, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward." Stillness is the place where the dots begin to connect. And in that connection, you start to trust. Not blindly, not passively, but deeply, because you've seen enough storms. You've walked through enough chaos. You've sat with your soul long enough to know there's a wisdom inside you no noise can teach. Legacy, identity, and becoming the one. At some point, you stop asking, what do I want to do? And you start asking, who do I want to become? Stillness strips away the noise of titles, followers, income brackets. It's not about building a reputation anymore. It's about building a reality, one that you can wake up inside of and say, yes, this is who I am meant to be. You don't need to impress the world. You need to remember yourself. The world will pull you in 1,000 directions. It will sell you shortcuts, templates, masks, but if you've spent even a moment in true stillness, you can never go back, because now you've felt it. That quiet place inside you that knows what matters, knows what to let go of, knows what's real. And that knowing, that is your edge in this world. You become like the archer who does not flinch, like the oak that bends with the wind but does not break, like the flame that does not burn out, it only grows steadier. Stillness is not absence, it is anchor. And when you are anchored, you are dangerous to anything built on distraction. You speak less but say more. You move slower but further. You chase less but attract more. You don't chase alignment, you become it. And when you do, you become the one they ask for guidance. You become the calm in the storm. You become the walking evidence that peace is not found in circumstances. It is found in present. Call to power, the final awakening. So let the world rush. Let it scroll, scream, beg for attention. You return to breath. You return to intention. You return to yourself. Because while they panic at the pace of the world, you prepare like a warrior with nowhere to be but here. Stillness isn't delay. It's deployment. Every second in silence is a seed. And one day, the world will see the garden you've been planting while they were shouting. So breathe, be still. Remember that you are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where power begins, present, aware, grounded, ready. This isn't about becoming better than others. It's about becoming whole within yourself. No more begging the world to validate you. No more negotiating your peace for their approval. No more chasing a life that looks good but feels hollow. Stillness gives you the one thing this world cannot manufacture, peace that cannot be stolen. And when you have that, you don't need to control everything. You trust yourself to handle anything. You don't fear the unknown. You sit with it, learn from it, become its student. You don't wait for the perfect time. You create the moment in the quiet, then execute with precision. This is your edge now. This is your difference. And one day, the world will wonder, how did you do it? How did you stay calm while they panicked? How did you stay focused while they were distracted? How did you rise without noise, without chaos, without compromise? And you will smile. Not because it was easy, but because in a world addicted to motion, you chose stillness. And in doing so, you found everything they're still searching for.